Hello everybody, it's Elena, and in today's video we are building this pretty small trailer park that I built in the world of Strangerville in The Sims 4, obviously. So we are building it on a 20 by 30 lot, and the park has 3 trailers in it. So again, it is a pretty small one. And I personally think that this trailer park is really nice and I like the vibes of it a lot, but like objectively it's not a nice place. It's very like trashed and dirty inside, especially one of the trailers, but it's not really like the nicest place ever. I think it's really cute and cozy, and I like the vibes of this place, and I just really like to build stuff like this where it's kind of trashed and messy and so not fancy at all. I really enjoy that. So all 3 trailers are almost the exact same size, at least 2 of them are the same size, I'm pretty sure, and then the third one is slightly bigger. It's a bit longer, and then also it has some bump outs, which also makes it a bit bigger. So yeah, it is a little bit more sizable than the other 2, I suppose, but they're really cute. And in this video we will be decorating all 3 of them, and they're all different from each other. Like, they're not just the same thing that I've copied and pasted, I guess. So like the first one that we're gonna be doing is definitely really nasty, and it's the grossest one by far. Like, there's a lot of mold on the inside and a lot of cracks in the walls, and just it's messy and not very nice at all. But then the other 2 are a lot nicer. There's one, I think it's the second one that we're going to be doing. It's like very modern and nice, and it's not dirty at all. So I don't really know what those people are doing in this pretty trashed trailer park, because that trailer does not really fit in. So I don't really know what that's about. I just wanted to build something that was in complete juxtaposition to the first one, so that was what I ended up with. And then the third one, the final trailer that we're going to be decorating, is just somewhere in between, I would say. Like, in terms of niceness, it's not super nasty like the first one, but it's also not really modern and fancy like the second one. Okay, not that the second one is fancy, it's just not gross, is what I'm trying to say. Don't get your hopes up too high. It is still like a not super nice trailer park that it's located in, you know. But yeah, the third one is just somewhere in between, and the theme of that one is just pink, I guess. I just wanted to build something that was nice and feminine and cutesy and pink, so that was what I did. And that one is also slightly bigger than the other 2 trailers, but as you can see, they are all very small, so that also means I could not fit a bathroom into all of them individually. So they all share one bathroom, well, 2 bathrooms technically, that are just like out and about on the lot, and that is just there for them to share. I was about to say that it's a public bathroom, but it's really not, because it's not open to the public. I feel like random people can't just go in and use them. That would be really weird. It's just for the people that live in these 3 trailers. And the bathrooms are also very nasty. I feel like they don't really get cleaned as often as they should be, so, you know. That's not super fun, but yeah, they're not super bad. And also, like, they've got 2 bathrooms, which is a lot better than just having one and having to share that one with a whole lot of people. So I feel like they don't have to stand out there and wait in line to get in the bathroom and take a shower and whatnot all the time, so that's good. At least. And then there's also a pool on the lot, which I think is pretty fun. I was kind of considering making it really nasty and like making it one of those really gross water options that we have, but I ended up settling for one that was not super gross, just because I felt like it was a little bit too much to go with the really gross one. But then on the other hand, I feel like this pool also does not get cleaned nearly as much as it should be cleaned, and the pH levels are not really where they should be. So I don't know if I personally would want to swim in it, but you know, it's there, and you can swim in it if you want to do that, and I think that's pretty fun. So there are a lot of activities on this lot. I also ended up putting a woodworking table, and there's a fire pit in the middle of it, so they can sit out there and just like hang out, tell some fun stories, like ghost stories and whatnot, and they can roast marshmallows and hot dogs and just be social. I feel like that's probably one of the best things about living in an area like this one, like in a cutesy-ish trailer park. Like, you get to live so close to other people, and hopefully you have a good relationship to them. That sounds really nice. And also, I feel like this trailer park does not feel nearly as small as it actually is, because there's a proper trailer park behind it. Like, you can see that little area behind the lot. That's a trailer park that is just like in the game. So I don't know, I feel like you can sort of pretend that it's a part of that one, and then it's not nearly as small, I guess. I was kind of considering building a trailer park on the tiny lot that we have in that area, but it's only a 20 by 15, so you can really only build a one trailer on there, and I really wanted to build a trailer park, so I didn't do that. But I should also tell you that these trailers don't really fit a lot of people, which I guess you probably figured based on just the size of them. They're really not that big, and they all have one bedroom each. But in the first one that we're decorating, which is the really gross one, the one in the back of the lot, that has one bed, so you can fit one sim in that one. And then the second one we're doing has a double bed, but it's like pushed up against the wall, so technically if the scoot feature works for you, you can sleep with two sims in that bed, but like it's kind of a hassle, so I don't recommend living with more than one sim in that house, or trailer rather. But then the third one has two single beds, so you can definitely live with two sims in the pink third trailer, and that's like no problem at all. But yeah, again, they don't have any bathrooms or anything. You gotta go outside at night to pee if you feel the need to do that at like 4 a.m. That's just how it works. That's just part of living here. It's part of the charm, I guess. But yeah, I don't know, I hope that these people enjoy living here. I feel like that's definitely the fun part, like the social aspects. The people that live around you can really make or break the experience. Like if you get along with them, it can be really, really fun, and you can just hang out and be great friends all the time. But if they kind of suck, then your experience is gonna kind of suck, you know, living here. So that might not be very fun. But yeah, I hope they all get along. That's what I want for them. But yeah, I guess there's not really much else to say about the build. I think I have said everything that I wanted to. So I hope you guys are all doing good, and I hope that life is treating you all well at the moment. I am personally doing pretty alright at the moment. My birthday was last week, so since we last spoke, I have turned 21. Yeah, so I'm now a old lady 21-year-old instead of an old lady 20-year-old, because my lifestyle is still that of a like 75-year-old. Yeah. So yeah, not much has really changed. I just got a year older, and that was fine, I guess. I had a fun time celebrating my birthday. We didn't really do much. As I talked about in my last video, my family was around not this past weekend, but last weekend, and that was really fun because we were also celebrating my grandma's birthday. She turned 90 on my birthday because we share the birthday, and that was really, really fun. So that's like a very big deal, turning 90, and that's definitely more fun than turning 21. That's not really the biggest deal ever. So yeah, I had a good time celebrating her. And then on my like actual birthday, which was on a Tuesday, so not in the weekend, my mom and we went to the zoo, and that was really fun. It was very, very cozy and just like relaxed and calm, and that was exactly what I wanted because I didn't want to do anything crazy. I just wanted to relax, and that I did do. I had a good time at the zoo. And I just accidentally rhymed. What a good time. Damn, I did it again. What the heck? Okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing fairly alright at the moment. I'm still like struggling with a bunch of stuff, because when are we not as humans struggling with a bunch of things? I feel like it's kind of hard to escape the tough things in life, and it's kind of hard to not focus on them. So yeah, still struggling with the usual stuff and that stuff. I don't know. I'm not very articulate today. That's not good. I mean, I never am, but you know, today is especially bad. Also, look at the bathrooms right here. I think they might be more gross than I was remembering. No, they're definitely a lot more gross than I was remembering. They're literally disgusting. Like, I don't know what I would do if I had to use bathrooms like that. I would definitely hover. Would you guys hover? I feel like that's probably the only solution in this kind of situation. I know it's not technically good for you to hover, and also it creates more of a mess to do that when you're peeing, but like I just could not force myself to sit down on a toilet in that kind of bathroom. It's just really, really gross. Also, that just makes me feel so grateful for having a decently nice bathroom. I mean, like mine, the one that we have in our house, is not great. I live in a 70s house and we have not renovated it since then, but it's like a decent bathroom. It's clean and everything works perfectly fine, so there's nothing to be mad about there. But so many people don't have proper bathrooms, and I feel like it must be so hard to like show up as a presentable person who smells nice and doesn't look super disheveled when you don't have a decent bathroom. I definitely know that when I've been in situations where I have not had access to a decently nice bathroom, just like for a limited amount of time, I have not been like even wanting to step into those bathrooms, and it has really taken a toll on my personal hygiene and my personal personal health and whatnot. So it's been like really tough. So I feel really bad for people who don't have access to a decent bathroom just like on the regular. It must be really tough to go through that, especially like if you have a job or you're trying to look for a job. Like you have to show up and look somewhat presentable, and you can't really do that when you don't have a bathroom that has decent water pressure and is not super gross and disgusting and is not a place that you want to step into. So I feel really bad for like homeless people or people that just live in a really bad environment, I guess. Like my brother, he used to live in an absolutely horrendous apartment like around 6 months ago, I think is when he moved out of it, and it was so bad. Like it was in a basement, and his bathroom was super tiny, but also it was really dark because there was not a window in it, and there was a really small and very bad light, like ceiling light, and you could not see anything basically. And the shower stall was so horrible. Like there was basically no light in there. It was just so dark all the time, and they had to buy one of those shower mat things to even just stand on the floor in there because it was just so gross and you could not clean it really, and it was just nasty beyond belief, and I just hated everything about that. And whenever I would go to his apartment, I would just not want to be in the bathroom at all. I would basically just hold my pee in and wait until I got home. So I couldn't imagine like living in that area for a long time. My brother only ended up living there for a few months because they just had to move out. Also, this apartment was just a really bad hole, you know, in general, because it was in the basement and we had a lot of rain last year in Copenhagen. It was really crazy. The weather was horrendous and the apartment flooded multiple times, and his landlord was just absolutely useless. So he kept telling him that he would like arrive in a few weeks to fix the problem, but he had like multiple centimeters of water inside the apartment. Like, what the hell? Who do you think you are? Like, how dare you? That's horrendous. It was just a really bad place. Like, this was in central Copenhagen, where the rent is really bad because that's just how it is in most big cities. Like, rent is disgustingly high. Like, they paid quite a lot of money for this absolute shithole, and it was so horrendous. It was, yeah, brutal. And then like a little tiny part of the apartment was above ground. It was not all in the basement. They had like a little tiny staircase that led up to a really small room that they used as their bedroom, and that was of course on the ground floor, and it was in like a rough-ish area. So during the night, people would like knock on the windows frantically and they would get woken up, and it was just really scary to live in that apartment. So yeah, anyway, that was horrible. I don't know why I just told you that story about my brother and his girlfriend's nightmare apartment that they had, but yeah, I just started talking about it, so I kept doing it. I think it was because I was talking about the awful bathrooms on this lot, and I was comparing it to the bathroom in their apartment, but it was just so bad and so gross and like so humid in there and moldy, and they had so much mold in the entire apartment, and no actual light got down to the basement part of it. The bedroom had like decent light because it was on the ground, but yeah, it was a horrible place, and they paid way too much money for it, and I do not believe that that should be legal at all. Like, that was not a proper place to live. That was horrible. So yeah, anyway, basically what I started this topic off was by saying that I feel really bad for people who do not have access to like a decent bathroom, because it must be very tough, and I'm very grateful for mine. And also, just to be clear, my brother did move out of that apartment and he now lives in a way better place. It's very tiny, and he's paying like twice as much, or not twice as much, but like 50% more now, and it's like half the size basically. It's really tiny, but it's a good place, and it's a new building, and he feels a lot more safe there. And also, he does not have an evil landlord because it's like a proper complex that he's living in instead of just like some random building that a very sketchy sleazebag landlord is renting out. People like that are absolutely evil, and I hate you. Yeah, screw landlords, right? Yeah, anyway, so yeah, my brother's doing good now and everything is fine, but it was just really sad that he had to go through that horrible apartment living situation. But also, I feel like that's kind of a rite of passage. You kind of need to go through a bad living situation like that at some point. But then again, I hope I don't have to do that. But it kind of shapes you as a person. It makes you a lot more humble than just like moving into a really nice apartment right as you get out of your parents' house. I feel like you don't really appreciate the smaller things in life as much if that is the situation for you. So it's probably better that way, and he's probably better off with that experience than if he had never gotten that experience. It humbles people. But then on the other hand, I feel like it might not humble people, because I oftentimes on social media and just like from celebrities and in media, whatever, anything like that, I feel like I see so many people who grew up in a rough place and did not have a lot of money. They came from absolutely nothing, and then the second they gain some money and gain some fame and whatnot, they just turn into absolute dirtbags, and they don't care about people that are less fortunate than they are now, and they're just so bad. So for some people it creates someone good to go through bad things, but for other people I don't think there's really any hope for them, and they don't really have a lot of compassion and care for other people. And some individuals grow up really comfortable or even wealthy, and they still manage to turn into very kind and compassionate and empathetic people when they're adults. So I mean, that's really good for them, even though they don't have any first-hand experience with what it's like to be not very privileged. They still are very empathetic, and they can like see that other people are struggling, and they don't just like blame it on them, and that's really, really good. I like that. But yeah, so in conclusion, I think that it might not really matter that much how you grow up. You can still turn into a really bad or really good person either way. Yeah. That's how I feel about it, but like, what do I know? I'm just an idiot. I really don't know anything. The only thing that I do know is that I like kind people a lot, and I think that the world needs more of them. We definitely don't need more bad people, because the world is kind of full of them. But on the other hand, I actually don't think that the world is completely full of bad people. Wait, this is just like a voiceover of me letting my brain completely flow and just blah, you know. This video is just a complete brain dump, and I'm gonna let it stay that way. I had nothing planned for this voiceover, and this is just how we're going. I don't know, this is where we're ending up, so that's okay. But yeah, I don't actually think that the world is full of bad people. Of course, in like media and in the news especially, we always hear about the really, really bad things, so it can be very easy to just assume that most people are really horrible. But in reality, when you actually go outside and you experience real life, you see that people are not always that bad, and most people are actually pretty good, and it's not that bad. But yeah, then again, like, now as I'm thinking about it, I keep second guessing myself, and I keep like, whenever I say that people are good generally, all I can think of is a very, very long list of really bad things that have been done throughout history that just make humans look absolutely horrendous. Like, I just have such a long list of things that I'm thinking of, such as, you know, dictators throughout history. They're pretty damn bad, and also like mass murderers and people that are doing the things that are happening in the world right now that are incredibly horrendous. Those people are real bad. So like, we've got a lot of instances of humans being extremely horrible, but what I'm trying to remember when I think of all these bad examples is the people that are helping these very bad situations. Because let's say in like a bombing situation, something very horrible like that, maybe like at least one person, obviously, but probably like a team of a few people have planned out this whole thing and have executed it. So these people are obviously really, really bad. Like, they're the lowest of the low. We don't like them, right? But when this awful thing has happened, so many first responders are helping the people that have gotten injured, and so many people are helping the families and the loved ones of people that might have been lost, and so many individuals are like saving the buildings and the whatever else might have been broken throughout this ordeal. Like, so many individuals are helping the situation out, like a thing that a few people caused. So it's very easy to think that all people are bad when you see a situation like that, because the people that are in focus are the bad ones, but we don't think about the hundreds, maybe even thousands of people that are trying to rectify this situation and are doing a very, very good deed and are like hustling and bustling and really just ruining themselves mentally, because that's a very hard thing to go through in your head, you know? And you can call me naive as much as you want, but I full-heartedly believe that the very bad people we're seeing in media and whatnot are the outliers of humanity. Like, most of us are pretty decent. We're just averagely good. And some people are extremely good and are outliers in that way. And then some people are extremely horrendous and are that kind of outliers, and those are the ones we're hearing of. We don't really hear about good people that are doing really good things very often, and when we do, those things are forgotten about within like a few hours, but the bad things stay in our heads for a long time. So yeah, and I don't know, it's really hard to have, that was my hip, it just cracked. But yeah, it's really hard to have faith in humanity with the way that we're living, you know. But I truly do think that most humans are at least somewhat decent. But then again, as I'm saying that, what I think about is bad people doing bad things, and I'm also thinking about your like average sort of bad person, like a Trump supporter, you know. Like a lot of people in America are Trump supporters, which is really scary, and are deeply conservative, you know, all over the world, not just in America. But it's just so scary to see that like this man could very well win the freaking election and he's so horrendous and so intolerant of so many people, and he's absolutely like ruining so much stuff. It's just really scary to think about that, and a lot of people are also just like averagely bad in that way. I don't know, it's hard. Life is tough. So once again, in conclusion, the world is sort of filled with bad people, but I do believe that most people are good in their cores, and I kind of feel like I need to believe that, because I will lose my sanity if I just cave into thinking that everyone is evil. But they're not, okay, it's fine. Anyway, what the heck is this video? I'm literally just sitting here preaching. I think I just needed to get some stuff off my chest I didn't even know was on there. Well, I knew it was on there because obviously those are my thoughts that I've been thinking about a lot over the past 21 years. I think about stuff like that all the time. But yeah, I think today I just needed to let go of some of them and tell people, because I don't always get to tell people in my real life about them, because they don't think it's very fun always, and I guess they just get a little too much of me sitting there talking about ethics and stuff like that all the time. I'm annoying like that. But yeah, anyway, I just needed to have a little heart-to-heart chat today, or a one-sided one, a heart-to-microphone chat. Very cool. Thank you for listening to it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I guess that's not really a thing people say anymore. That was like a meme thing, I don't know, in the past. Are TED Talks even a thing still? I don't know. I haven't seen one in a very long time. I feel like I used to get them recommended to me on YouTube all the time, but I haven't gotten one recommended in at least like 2-3 years, so I don't know if they're still a thing. I might have to check that when I'm done with this voiceover, because I'm very curious now. I don't know. Do you guys still watch TED Talks? And do you still say thank you for listening to my TED Talk sometimes? Because I feel like no one does that anymore, but it's kind of fun. Anyway, but let's just like switch up the topic completely. So recently, I kind of like have been wanting to switch up my content just like a little bit. I need to do something a little bit more fresh, I guess. So I'm kind of like in the mindset, I suppose, to try to just like do a bunch of different things and see what will be good. Maybe what I'm trying to say is that I think I'm just gonna like throw a bunch of shit at the wall and see what sticks, a bunch of shit of different consistencies, and see what sticks to the wall. And by sticks to the wall, I mean that people are gonna want to watch it, I suppose. Why did I feel the need to explain that very gross metaphor? It's literally one of the most self-explanatory metaphors. It's so clear. It's very obvious. Anyway, though, it's fine. But yeah, I'm just kind of like trying to experiment a little bit, and I'm trying to do a little bit more on Instagram, because up until now that has been a thing that I've just kind of neglected, because I think that Instagram has just sort of made me a little bit anxious. So I'm trying to rectify that, and I'm trying to take my anxiety about Instagram away. And the other day I was looking at like my not my screen time, but on Instagram you can like see how much time you're spending on Instagram. It like tracks it, and then I saw that my average for the past week was 2 minutes, and the reason why it's so low is because I feel so anxious about it. So every like day, or maybe every other day or something, I don't really know, I would just like go on my Instagram and either post something if it was time for that, and if it wasn't, then I would just like check comments and then like quickly respond to that, and then possibly watch a few stories or something from other people, and then get out of Instagram really quickly. I would not really think too much about it because it would make me anxious. But now I'm trying to like fix that, because I just think that spending an average of 2 minutes on Instagram a day is not really acceptable when you're someone like me who actually like is trying to create content and be like, I don't know, somewhat successful at it. It's not really acceptable when you think about it like that. But yeah, I don't know. In my personal life, I just don't really use Instagram that much. It's not really super interesting to me, and it's just like something that I've tried to get away from. But I think that if I use it in a way where I'm just being mindful of my own mental health, it might not be that bad for me. So yeah, I'm trying to do some different stuff on there, and I am going to do some reels and whatnot, and that might be fun. So yeah, anyway, if you want to watch that, then follow me on Instagram, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I have like, I think 8,000 something followers on there, and I just don't think it's acceptable to spend 2 minutes on Instagram when you have that amount of followers. So what I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna put some more effort into making Instagram content, and I'm gonna focus a little bit more on that, because up until now the only thing I've really done for Instagram is that I've taken like screenshots of the builds that I've done for my YouTube videos, and then I've just posted that on Instagram. So I've just like had a very easy time just recycling content on there. And you know, that has been like sort of fruitful for a long time. It gained me like 8,000 followers without that much extra effort, because I was already making the content for YouTube. But now I'm gonna branch out a little bit, and I'll just do it in a fun way that makes me happy. And what makes me stressed and like unhappy about like content creation is obviously the numbers part. I feel like that's what everyone says always, because that's just a thing that gets you down every time things are not like as beautiful as they once were. Like that just makes you so sad because the way that Instagram and specifically YouTube is like telling you that is in a pretty hurtful way. But yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna stay away from that, and then I'm gonna focus on happy things and all of that stuff. That is really all. I don't think anybody cares even slightly that I'm switching up my content creation strategy just a tiny bit because it's not really something that matters at all in this world. But yeah, I just felt the desire to tell you about it. And also in my next video, I'm gonna do something like sort of different, and I'm gonna have my face cam on, and that's gonna be fun because I haven't done a face cam video in a very long time. So once again, I'm just like doing something a little tiny bit different from what I've done before. So yeah, anyway, that's kind of fun for me. So yeah, I guess that's really all I have for you guys today. I've been rambling so much, so thank you all so much for watching this very rambly and weird video. I hope you still enjoyed it. If you did, please do give it a little thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're unsubscribed already and you enjoy my content. I would really appreciate that. But I hope you're all having an amazing day, and then I cannot wait to see you all in my next video that I will be posting in just a few days. So bye everybody!